Welcome back for another episode of It's All Been Trucked Before. This time, the Infinite Vulcan. I'm not sure how that's said, but that's how I said it. It's the Infinite Vulcan. It's like the Guardian of Forever, but it's a Vulcan. It's infinite. Infinite, forever, tomato. Something that is not infinite, it's finite. It's all been written. It's our annual short story competition. Currently accepting submissions for the third annual contest, but you've only got till March 31st. The theme is drove downtown in the rain, 9:30 on a Tuesday night. Write a story between 3,000 and 15,000 words. That's, if you're getting this right now, 3,000, that's 1,000 words a day. You can do that. The grand prize winner will get an audio adaptation of their story, and all winning entries, which are first released free on our website, will be eligible for royalties when the collection is published. Go back and listen to the other ones. Go back and listen to the collections from previous years. Listen to IABDpresents.com while you're there. You're being literary. Your support. You can support even more. You can be like, I support the arts even more than you think because they write stuff. It's books. Patreon.com/IABD. Nice place. You can drop $1 a month. You're going to help. $2 a month? Insane. $5 a month? There's probably going to be a parade. I haven't looked at what you get for it recently. But if you get $15 a month, there's probably going to be a good year blimp around your house talking about how great you are. While we're talking about written stuff, while we're getting all literary, Stark Story Snacks. I love the alliteration. Samantha Stark is back for our third season of Micro Stories with Stark Story Snacks. Every Monday, Sam brings you a very short story, usually a page or two long, for a quick bite of biting fiction. The anthology's tales are standalone, so you can jump in whenever you feel like it. Season 1, it's out there. Season 2, coming up soon. Check them out. Check it out at IABDpresents.com. And now, check out The Infinite Vulcan on It's All Been Trucked Before.
Welcome out to another episode of It's All Been Trucked Before. Your regulars are here.
This is Steven.
And still your Keith.
They won't remember that from months ago.
That's not making any sense.
Jimmy-Jerome, and we're joined once again by...
Hello, I'm Marianne.
Excellent. Today we're discussing The Infinite Vulcan.
The Infinite Vulcan.
The 7th episode of the animated series. First impressions.
Well, as Steven was just saying, the title might not have been very accurate. It might be an infinitesimal Vulcan.
Yeah.
Keith was expecting extra Spock, and instead you got less Spock than normal.
Well, you kind of got extra Spock. You got
Spock 2,
and one
got
was
Spock
giant.
Yeah, except they made no effort to make it booming or echoing or what you would expect a giant voice to do.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I commented on that. I was like, why?
Well, they have super advanced acoustics there, so everything just
So if he
balances
had a
out.
tricorder on the palm of his hand and he was talking like this, Horror would have been like, ah, what's happening?
That would make sense. Just
The
like
communicator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like somehow they were able to clone his clothes and make them giant as well.
What the heck? Yes.
Well, the plant people were sewing them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Sure.
They have very advanced sewing machines.
Well, they should be very good with textiles, you would think.
Really? Because they aren't wearing anything, are they?
Well, they're made of,
They're made of
Plants?
cotton plants.
They flaunt it. They just walk around naked. Those men just letting it all hang
They
out.
gotta-
Maybe not. Maybe they're
Like
more
necklace.
like sticks, and then that's all material they're wearing.
Oh, that's possible. Yeah. That's
Probably
what
not, though.
Yeah, probably
a
not.
lot of green dye they use.
Yeah. This episode was written by Walter Koenig, who played Chekov in the original series of movies, but did not appear in the animated series, unfortunately.
We were talking about a little off mic, all the changes Roddenberry had him go through. And, we've talked about it a million times on the previous episodes about Roddenberry's meddling. And it got to the point where, I think it was this one where he was just like, I don't know what you want me to write. But he kept writing anyway. But
Was it Marianne who said that he tried to be in the episode as well?
Yeah, he tried
Yeah.
out as a voice actor for one of the parts, and it wasn't.
yeah,
But
so
they don't have any guest stars in this episode, as in
No.
most of the animated
Yeah.
episodes.
But they had Scotty do all the roles.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, James Doohan and Medill Barrett basically
Yeah.
did almost all the guest roles.
I think
Michelle
Nichelle
Nichols
was the
did a
computer
couple,
tonight.
Yeah. Or not tonight.
This
No,
one. This one.
really?
I thought that was her.
It does say Majel credit only, so maybe it
Oh.
was Nichelle.
Okay.
Majel credit only, so maybe it was Nichelle.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. She's not listed on IMDb for the computer, but yeah, I guess they were taking turns on the computer.
But yeah, he wasn't happy at the end of the day with the experience. I think this was on DC Fontana. I might be mixing up the episodes tonight. But yeah, at the end he was like, well, I wasn't real happy with the way it turned out, and I didn't get to
It
do it
said,
again.
according to Walter Koenig, he was offered a chance to write additional scripts for the series. However, he turned it down because
Yes.
he was upset
Yeah.
about not being able to reprise his role in Star Trek as the role of Chekov, and this is the only animated series involving Koenig.
Yep.
He says that Walter Koenig had to write 10 to 12 drafts of the script before it was accepted.
So do we think the scripts got better with Roddenberry giving notes, or are we going to have worse? Based on the final result.
I didn't think it was a bad story compared to some of the other ones. I mean, we'll do rankings later.
Yeah,
I think it was pretty loosey-goosey when it
I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was terrible. I know
there
the
were
giant
elements.
aspect was unnecessary.
The elements just never came together for me.
I thought it was interesting you tied into the eugenics wars, where Kandini and Sim came out of.
Answers one of my questions.
Yeah, and the scientists, like, he was attempting to make peace through force because that was the way the eugenics wars, that was the attitude on Earth at the time. I thought that was an interesting concept. I liked the plant people and that they were super advanced and the plague wiped them out. I thought all that was interesting and made sense. I just didn't get why they were giant. I mean, that really is my biggest complaint with the episode.
So, Cancilius?
Okay, so I made a note of this. Kirk kept pronouncing it Cuniculus.
Cuniculus.
And everyone else was...
Cuniculus 5.
Cuniculus. That's what everyone else was saying. Spock said it. I believe Sulu said it as well, Cuniculus.
Koenig said he actually read about cloning in the newspapers, and that's where he got the idea for this.
Yeah.
So, starts out with Sulu playing the me
Extra
character.
Sulu!
And I love Sulu. And he sees this cute little thing and he thinks it's a plant that moves around.
The tribble with legs.
Tribble with legs. And
It's
I
a
was like,
triple spider.
I would love that. And then and it was so cute. And Keith says, well, I say, don't touch it. And before
my note was saying, Marianne says, don't touch it. He picks it up and says, before I could even ask, what could possibly happen? She goes, ow. Just ow.
So that was my next comment, is Sulu's voice acting. Ouch. I mean,
literally.
None of the actors are that good at voice acting.
No, Nimoy is pretty good. He can modulate his tone to what he's saying.
I thought they're always in this. It's weird to me. They're very low key in these, and there was one weird line read where I thought in live action you could have got away with that because I feel like the animation isn't that. It's obviously very rudimentary.
Yeah.
Whereas if this was now, you'd see all the reaction that you needed for to deliver the line. So yeah, and especially with Doohan's voices, especially for the head alien.
Jimmy Doohan not only voiced Scott, he voiced Egmar and Cuniculus.
Cuniculus was fine. Egmar was
Is
on
that
volume.
I'm sorry. Is that how it's spelled there? The name Cuniculus?
Cuniculus is spelled on IMDb Keniclius. Cuniculus.
Okay, so it was Kirk that was wrong there, probably.
I guess.
Although I do wonder if Sulu got more lines because Koenig wrote this.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that they, actually the thing that bothered me was Sulu goes down and Bones comes up and is like, oh, we gotta, this machine that I have, my tricorder, does not have everything that the ship has. Why do you have an abridged version on your tricorder? Just put the whole thing on on your tricorder.
For portability.
Maybe they don't have that technology.
The tricorder gets too heavy if you put the whole thing on there.
No.
That's like a suitcase. You don't want to do that.
But I was just like, that makes no sense.
I was if my Kindle's too heavy, take some books off of it.
We've never seen a situation where they scan something and they say, well, I can't do this because I don't have the full thing. The ship has everything up there.
I don't think that's really that.
No, we've seen that before.
McCoy does make that excuse a lot. It's like, well, I can't do anything unless I'm on the ship. It's like, really?
You need like a surgery bay or something.
Mabenga could have done it.
We
He
wouldn't
was
have all the
just-
tools you need to have.
Inoculating him.
Mabenga didn't make the cut for the animated series.
No, he did.
Did you notice one of the plant people was named Retlaw, which is Walter backwards?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that was the way he worked himself. He's like,
Yeah, that
I'm
was
going to be in it one way or the other.
Koenig's. Yeah.
Even the aliens are low key, and the other thought I had is, that doesn't make sense. I was thinking, is it just for kids? But kids are all Saturday morning cartoons are pretty hyper, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
This seemed like probably not the usual fare for what a kid would necessarily be interested in. This is probably for the older
and I
kids.
guess they weren't necessarily writing them for 9-year-olds.
No.
I was going to
Even
say
though sometimes you can't tell.
I was going to say I like the creature designs in it.
Yeah, I like the aliens were different, and I thought it was weird. I thought, how those life form sensors work? Because we can't pick up plant life. It's like, well, how does it work exactly?
Yeah.
What, you can only pick up specific plant life?
Well, they weren't ready for the plants. They weren't calibrated. They weren't thinking that.
I guess.
Of
Maybe breathing or heartbeats
So there's
or
a bunch
carbon.
of planets they've just gone right by and like, well, and when we know from like Savage Curtain, rock creatures,
that. Sure.
Was rock life picked up that time? I don't
I
remember.
guess.
So how would
I feel like they're
that?
missing a lot.
How would the cloning work if you take a human my size and put them into a giant body, and how would there be a learning period of like I am no longer 5'4" in my
Right.
case. I am
Right.
now 20 feet tall. Wouldn't there be like a moment where he'd be like, I'm gonna go give them all mind meld,
Right.
and just
And
like
just
squish
crushes
him,
his head. Yeah.
because he doesn't understand. I mean,
If it was anybody else, they would have squished him,
Yeah.
but it was Spock.
Super
so-
Spock.
super Spock.
Yes.
Spock too.
It seems like there would be
Kind of like Audrey too.
Super Spock.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Spock not being able to do anything wrong.
That's why he did a
he's learning
Vulcan
fast.
mind touch, not a Vulcan mind meld.
Yeah,
There you go.
He was like, no.
But that was enough to save Spock's life.
Somebody take me through the cloning process exactly. They had to
Download
train-
their mind into a computer, and then
Which will
upload
kill
it
him.
and then upload it into a new clone.
Okay.
But then because Vulcans can share their minds, he shared it back with the
Well,
original.
that part I get.
Yeah.
The pushing it back, I kind of get.
Your
but-
mind to, he should have said your mind to my mind.
Your thoughts.
Remember
Forget.
or whatever.
Just, yeah.
But why would it necessarily kill him? Why couldn't you just clone him?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't the same brain happen?
Apparently, this guy, the scientist,
Ridiculous.
could only take the brain one way. It took Spock to do it the two.
My other question is, isn't this Caniclius? Isn't he a bad guy in the eugenics wars?
Yes.
So why are we letting him go at the end of the
Why-
episode?
Did
Because
they
Spock's
know?
there to supervise it.
I don't know how I
Spock
feel about
said,
this.
This is not going to happen, and gave his blessing on keeping him there.
Yeah.
But this
What-
guy killed people, right?
Yes, he did.
I don't know. I don't know if that was clear. What boggles my mind there now is that there has been a second.
Jimmy's a classic Caniculus apologist.
Yeah. I am president of the fan club. What boggles my mind is there's this other Spock out there. For the rest
Right.
of Star Trek, there's another Spock in the universe.
He's
And,
giant.
And you'd never.
and you'd think that for some reason he'd go back there at some point,
Yeah.
and we'd see it.
So,
He did. We just have never seen it, apparently.
is his mind in both?
Now it is, yes.
Yeah.
There are now two Spocks in the world.
But if I'm little Spock, am I aware of what Big Spock's doing and vice
No.
versa?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
at that
It's
point
Only
you
to
split.
do the
So it's
mind
just-
meld.
All
and
right.
become separate. It's like in Next Gen, we have William Riker, the first officer.
Mm-hmm.
There's a transporter accident. He gets split in two. And William Riker and Thomas Riker, the other guy goes by Thomas's middle name, they then have divergent separate lives and make separate decisions and separate experiences.
It's like syncing without a cloud to back it up. You sync once, there's no cloud
right.
to share it, so they're just separate now.
I wonder if the Next Generation plot took it from this episode, like, hey, we never saw Spock again, let's explore
Yeah.
it. Let's explore it if we have two Rikers. And the Riker we actually see a few times. He comes back. Like, once it's established there's another Riker, we see the Riker.
And you can tell
again.
because he doesn't have a goatee.
No, he
That's
still
the
has
difference,
to
the
be.
difference.
Well, I think I want to say he
I
does go
remember they always did it that when one was shaven, the other one wasn't shaven.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you can
like
tell he's
full on
evil.
beard.
clean. Our Riker
I
was the
remember
evil
that
one.
episode.
Because he had the goatee.
Yeah. So the thing that concerned me was I know it's probably a thing that had to do with animation, but if you're talking to someone that's 20 feet tall, you don't have to be this close.
Right.
To do, you know,
You get a crick in your neck.
you
and-
could
yeah.
back up.
Yeah.
And with Caniculus, he was wearing a skirt, so you're just always looking up and seeing stuff.
And he
the whole
freeballs
time.
it.
Yeah, exactly. See, you get
He wants
Well,
everybody to see his
you get
mighty...
kibbles and bits.
To be
the
fair,
entire time.
not everything became giant.
See, to me, I actually did think, if I'm giant, but there's no giant woman,
Right.
like, that's no fun.
Yeah.
Oh, so you
He's
leave it
beyond
purposely
that.
leave it scaled down?
No,
just in case.
no. I
So
said
you
that's
was a
why I
regular
would
woman.
not want to be a giant, because
okay.
then you're lonely.
Right,
There's
but-
nobody to have sex with.
Well, that's it. But so if you become a giant, you would think ahead and go, you know what? I'll leave it regular, and then you can have a.
That would still be
normal
really weird.
No,
Yeah.
no, that doesn't work.
one. You just
Does
pick her
not work.
with thumb and forefinger.
The better
pick her
way
up
would be
and sperm.
you keep yourself small, your junk gets big, and then you find a giant woman who can handle your big junk. That's the way I would want to go.
You'd have to clone a giant woman.
I could do that.
Yeah. Now, if you were cloning a giant version of your wife, would you make her your height, or would you keep her shorter than you?
Oh, I'd want a big giant Colleen.
So even taller.
Even taller than you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A big giant Colleen, and my junk would be giant, and that'd be fun.
And then you'd stay normal size?
Yeah.
So your junk's as big as you are?
Yeah.
You'd push it around in a wheelbarrow. This episode took a weird turn. Some weird things in this episode. Not the same kind of weird, but we had an overhead shot of the bridge. How they reused shots where Spock was on the bridge even though he'd been kidnapped.
Even though we had just got finished saying Spock's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
And we're like,
This
"What,
makes you
he's
think
right
there's
there."
3 Spocks.
Yeah.
And they fixed it later too with the later overhead shots. Like, whoops.
Just like that one officer, there were like 4 of on the Enterprise in various departments.
It might just be somebody who's like, I like Spock's look. I'm gonna match.
I'm gonna take that.
I like the haircut.
Somebody in his department.
Got the ears pinched slightly.
Except
so
there
they could get
was
the little point.
that was followed by another shot immediately thereafter where there was a guy in a red shirt.
In a
at the
red
station.
shirt, yeah.
Which
I was like,
again, I want to know why there's a person in the engineering or security department manning the science station. That doesn't make sense to me.
Last minute sub. And maybe works both departments.
Yeah. Those other guys have worked really a long shift, so they took a break.
You got confused with what shirt you should have on. He was like, should I be in blue or red? Well, I got to go to engineering after this.
His blue was in the wash.
Red.
His blue shirt was in the wash.
We kind of did fashion, but we didn't do the fashion theme.
Fashion.
There we go. What do we think of Caniculus's outfit?
I think it's inappropriate. If you have small plant people around you the whole time, don't wear a skirt.
Well, they're plants. They don't
Why?
care.
Why is that the garb he chose?
Yeah.
That is in the old pictures of him that they found on the Enterprise computer. He was dressed differently, so this was very purposeful. This is my image of how I should be as the giant ruler.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be like a Roman Titan or something like that.
That's what it looked like.
A Greek, is it?
Definitely.
Whichever.
One of the types.
So was he the one that also?
But they never did that in Star Trek. We never saw one of those.
Was he the one who
It's
also
like a
followed the
follow-up.
plant life there? Right? Isn't that what they said? Or
They
no?
didn't specify for sure that he had done it. They just said,
See, there you go
"Oh my
again.
God."
Defending Caniculus.
See, these are all.
Well, I did support him in the eugenics wars that happened in the 90s. I don't know if you know that. I'm reformed now.
Fair enough.
These
I've
are
been hiding.
These are all the crimes of Caniculus 1. This is Caniculus 5. He's completely innocent at this
It's
point.
like Brainiac 5.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
I mean-
too.
You can't hold Caniculus 5 responsible for the actions of Caniculus 1.
Yeah,
Well, maybe.
that's why he does it. He's already a legal loophole. Anytime he does something shady, he goes, "Well, better."
I murdered a whole bunch of people. I'm going to be a new body.
Yep.
Or he can just say, by the way, and that was Caniculus 1. I'm actually Caniculus 22 now. He can just make up a new number and be
There's
like,
a lot of legal loopholes that need to be closed here. McCoy is amazed that there are intelligent plants.
Yep, he's such a species.
It doesn't make sense. Like
He's such a species.
I mean,
again, I feel like they should never be like, holy mackerel! I cannot believe this creature. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, you do every week.
Every week, he's
every
something different.
week there's a new episode where something you can't believe. Wouldn't you be tired of saying that
Yeah.
by now?
No, rocks,
Not McCoy.
clouds, that's fine. But plant? No. Get out of
Intelligent
here.
plants can be.
And how dare they save my crewmate's life is about to die.
Yeah,
that
I know.
can't
I
save.
was like,
Get your filthy plant tentacles off of him. It's like, well, you just keep saying he's dying and you can't do anything.
by the way, this is the second episode in a row that has tentacles.
Marianne's enjoying these episodes.
It was a thing.
I was like, dragons that are just tentacles.
So if Marianne was going to clone herself, she'd add some tentacles
No, I didn't get tentacles to Keith.
to Keith. So Keith 5 has tentacles.
Keith's fine.
I have to wonder what Keith's 2 through 4 did at that
You don't want
point.
to know. It took a few times to get it right.
I know we've talked about universal translators before, but
Sure.
those guys had them.
They wear them as
The voters,
necklaces.
yeah.
They reminded me of the Telosians necklaces.
Yeah, which makes sense. It explains away a lot of things.
I mean, it's nice they already had them out and ready and raring to go. You notice their previous generation, the ones that all died from disease, were also giant? I kept waiting for them to explain that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that would explain why Caniculus was giant, because he was dealing with giant people, so he made a giant version of himself to deal with them.
Ah,
But then, why are the current ones small?
that's very interesting. I hadn't thought of that. Like, that would at least explain why he made himself large.
Sure.
But
I mean, maybe the ones that survived the disease, it was just a mutation or something. And
could be that, or maybe they're just young. Maybe they grow that big because they're plants that keep growing like trees.
That could be. He did mention he was young when everybody died, so maybe he's still young.
I pointed out that in my notes here that McCoy came down and actually almost said an old titular line there. He said, "Something happened to his brain."
Yeah, it reminded me of Spock's brain.
This whole episode reminded me of Spock's
Yeah,
brain. They're
very
like,
much
we
was-
searched the entire cosmos, and this is the guy we want. Which goes back to your superhero.
But this was much better than Spock's brain, in my opinion, story-wise.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Yes.
Spock's brain was probably more entertaining, but this is...
I think if we had this as a live animated episode or a live action episode, I think it would have been as entertaining.
The plant costumes would have been much
Would have been
worse.
awesome.
Much worse. And they would have not tried to do the giant thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Roddenberry is the one that forced the plant people in, and his
Yeah.
excuse was, this is animation, we have to do these different aliens.
True.
So, although the eye stalks that the plant people had looked a lot like the eye stalks on the globber that eats the tribbles.
Yeah.
So, not that much variation.
One thing I noted early on was it seemed, I don't know why, but it felt like the episode was better drawn than usual.
Really?
Something about, yeah, I mean, they had a lot of close-up hand shots.
They did have the minuscule things were fine.
Yeah, the detail of the city, the plant people themselves,
They had
some of the
Rivera
movement.
City.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of mixed the characters together because there were certain times where Sulu looked like Spock and Spock looked like Sulu.
I feel like that happens a lot in the
And
show.
I was like, that's obviously you drew Spock and then rounded out the ears and lowered the eyebrows. Because there were a few times where I was like, Spock, no, Sulu, okay. And then there were vice versa. There were a few times where I was like, no, that's not. Oh, so we're doing Sulu. Okay, all right, yeah.
Well,
all right.
it's because he's inscrutable. That is hard to.
Yeah.
That is a reference to the last line of the episode, by the way. It was a very strange thing for them to put into the script. And I guess we're changing topics then.
At one point, they mentioned that those plant people used 70% of their brains.
Did they? I missed that.
Which is pretty staggering, because supposedly we only use, 9 to 15%?
I hear that's a myth.
Myself, I use
It is a
13%.
myth that they've
I don't know how much you guys
been
use. I'm
debunked.
guessing less than 13, but...
It's
I
probably,
use like 60, 70%.
Oh, okay.
On a good day.
All right.
I
Until
think
the alcohol comes out. So I'm using like 2-3%.
Are you one of these plant people in disguise?
I can't comment on that.
This explains why you are
This is why I'm
a Nicholas apologist.
I've come back in time.
back to your old Jimmy one days. It could be like 9% at a time or something.
no.
What other notes you got?
Let's see. I was amused at the time when Giant Caniclius just said, "No, we're keeping Spock. Get out." Okay, I guess we're going.
Well, they said or suffer the consequences. Like he was threatening to step on them, I think.
I love, yeah. I
Without
mean,
saying
it seemed odd. I mean, the way that these, the rhythm of these episodes usually go, or at least, especially the original series. Kirk would dig in his heels. We're not leaving out Spock, and
And then
that would be it. But
yeah.
this was sort of like,
He was like,
nope.
bye.
Okay, hey, we can't do that.
Beam
do it
us
or
up,
else.
Scotty.
Okay, I guess we're leaving.
Or else what? Oh, nope, you don't need to tell me. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't wait for the ultimatum. He was just like,
Well, when Caniculus said that, he stepped forward, and at that moment, Kirk looked up and saw the kibbles a bit, and was like, I'm not messing with this. Let me get out of the room. I'll come back and deal with this later.
just one of those could squash me. So we're done.
You big, we small. You big, we small. We go now.
Had you ever heard of IDIC before?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that in the original series.
Yeah.
It's the little triangle and the circle.
I missed it.
Diversity and infinite
Yeah,
Yeah.
we saw the IDIC symbol before.
It became a huge deal in the 70s conventions and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It just seemed odd to me that Vulcans would have acronyms.
I think, wasn't that
like
in
that.
Truth There's No Beauty? Wasn't that the first episode?
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah, you don't remember this symbol?
Okay, kind of.
Yes, I remember because he wears that necklace, and the lady's like,
Oh,
The lady picked it up and examined it.
Yeah.
They
Was
made a big deal. Because, they purely put that on there for merchandising.
Was it the hippie one?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because at that point, Gene Roddenberry and Magellan were launching the merchandising company and trying to make money.
Okay.
So they threw that necklace on screen, which is funny because it's such a beloved symbol of Star Trek now, but at the time, it was just pure money grab. Alternate episode?
Oh, I just want to talk about the dragons real quick.
Okay.
So, did they have control over the dragons? I didn't understand how that whole...
It seemed like they did. It seemed like they were their flying monkeys.
So the plants were smarter than the animals? Well, they used 7% of their brains, so that makes sense.
My complaint about the dragons was they weren't detailed enough. They were really phoned it in. They kept using the same shots.
Their formation was the same.
Yeah, I didn't really care
Every
for
time.
I didn't care for the dragons.
It seemed more like they were, I don't know if they were commanding them necessarily, but they just didn't seem to worry about them.
Well, they were able to cart Spock off. That was...
Caediculus was clearly controlling.
Yeah.
The thing that frustrated me about the dragons was they didn't look like a home that they would live in. This planet doesn't look like...
Right.
They have no legs, and we see no trees. So where would they perch?
They were
come out of
brought
nowhere.
over from another part of the planet. They were enslaved and used and brought over
But
the way we do.
where would they
I mean,
sleep?
we have lions and elephants in Columbus that we brought over from Africa.
Yes, but they
and put
have
in
legs, so they can lay down.
Yeah, they can
These
perch in
guys
trees
have like
and stuff,
tentacles, so
you know,
they just like
elephants.
flop on their side.
They've got a cage with trees somewhere else. We just didn't see it.
So I'm guessing that they would wrap their little tentacles around the branch, so they would hold on to it, like
Quite possibly.
like birds
Or
you
bats.
know? or bats.
Hang upside down.
Yeah.
But they weren't at the bottom of their bodies. They were in the middle of their bodies, like birds.
Well, they were kind of punching out with them, like, yeah.
I know that was that scene.
Maybe
I-
we were
that's
a
what I
science
wrote.
experiment from Caediculus.
Yes, he was like, let's take the Martian from the previous episode, add him with a dragon.
That's where Caniclius 2 really messed up. And he says, I better just call this one a day and go up to 3. I'll see you guys. I'm sorry about this.
That was the only alternate episode, was the disaster that was Caediculus 3.
Yeah.
He was just a ne'er-do-well.
My alternate episode was the end takes place between Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, maybe the beginning of Search for Spock. Spock's dead. And Sarek's like, I didn't bring my son home. And Kirk's like,
I
there's
know a guy.
another one. Here, let me show you where he is. He's still fine. He's on this other planet.
My alternate episode is Caediculus 4. Just automatically creates Caediculus 5, leaves him there, and 4 goes off on wacky adventures. So
My other alternate episode is Caediculus 5 has Caediculus 6 in his bedroom.
Yeah.
Waiting for him to come home.
he's like, I need someone, because there were no giant ladies around here.
I'm in love with
Hence
me.
the skirt.
Hence the skirt. Yes,
That's really just, oh God.
he's the lady. I hate myself.
No trans shaming here, Marianne.
I'm not.
I know, I'm just kidding. We're men, women of Star Trek of this episode.
I'm sticking with whoever I had last time.
Norrin.
I can't remember who that was. Was that the...
That was months ago.
Oh, she was the one who was married to the survivor. Ted Knight, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the breathy Nichelle Nichols voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I think that's who I had too, right?
You had the Vendorian.
Oh yeah.
The tentacles.
I'm sticking with
that's
Tentacle
right.
Monster.
You're not going with the dragons?
Oh no.
Or any of the plant guys here.
Keith, you also had Norrin.
That's probably good. It's good to stay with that then.
Steven probably thinks I'm going to switch to Caediculus, but I'll stay with the Vendorian as
That's just what you think we'd think you'd do. So
Exactly. So now you would think that I would think that I would
See,
think
now
that you would think.
if we're trying to shoot him, we need to figure out what the actual question we need to ask is.
Can I switch to
You
Norid?
guys are just hella dumb.
You want to
God.
change to who?
Can I switch to Norid too?
Do you want to be Norrin too?
No, Norid number 2.
I get it. Yes, Keith. We will allow you to be Norrin too. If you promise we're not going to get to the end of the season, you'll be Norrin 20.
Oh,
That'd be a good one.
curses.
This can't be another cloud lady situation like season 2.
Merge Hedford.
I know. Merged Hedford that you just refused to leave because you made a commitment. Where are we ranking the episode?
What do we have above it?
Above what?
Everything.
Give me the top 3.
Yesteryear, The Survivor, More Tribbles, More Troubles. I kind of hated More Tribbles, More Troubles, but
I'm going to say this is
I'm
probably
gonna say
above
this
that.
is above More Tribbles. More
Really?
Troubles. Yeah.
Yeah. me
because
too.
you guys seem to like that one a lot.
It was. It's a welcome departure to getting to something that is very noticeably tied to the old series in that sense of, we get to do a throwback here, but at the same time, that was also the problem with the episode, that it didn't really expand as
More
much
troubles,
as it
more
could have.
tribbles.
Yeah.
Tribbles are funny and cute and enjoyable, but this had actually talked about some issues and stuff like that.
I mean, I'm for putting it above it.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect you guys would be.
Stephen 1 would go with tribbles. Stephen 2 would probably go with this. I didn't love this episode, but I thought it had a lot of interesting concepts.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, the
agree.
concepts are what pushed it above.
But below the Survivor, which was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Next week, man, it's going to be hard to wait a week to watch another one.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
It's
don't
going to
want
be
to wait.
so long. Is the magics of Megas 2. The USS Enterprise is exploring the center of the galaxy again, looking for the heart of creation. When a ship is caught inside a tornado made of pure energy, and a devil-like being calling himself Lucian appears to save them. Lucian takes Captain Kirk and his crew to the magical planet of Megas 2. But when the Megans discover the presence of humans, they put them on trial the same way they were treated when they visited Earth centuries earlier. And Megas 2 is MEGAS-TU. It's not like the number 2.
Interesting. So there's already a couple things I'm thinking of. I'll save it for next week if I
I
can
will
remember.
say that this was
Take your notes now.
Yeah.
they had wanted to do another cat spa.
Why?
They want to do a better version.
Oh,
I should
okay.
say. So
So
we'll
this
see.
one has magic. Woo!
My favorite.
It still probably won't be the worst time we journey to the center of the universe. Star Trek 5. Until then, live long and buy lots of Idic necklaces,
And prosper.
which will allow Gene Roddenberry to prosper. Or his estate.
And prosper 5.
It's All Been Done presents.
Who's got the time?